This episode is brought to you by a Fast and the Furious-esque weekend.
I'm intrigued. This episode is also brought to you by Vitamin D. Yeah.
This is real garbage.
We're recording this July 14th. It has been hot this week.
Sweltering. This week, it's Tuesday.
It is. Well, I work outside, and I've been working on a hill at the top of a bigger hill in the scorching sun from like 8 a.m. until 4:30. Just sun beating the only time I get shade is at break. So that's why I said vitamin D, because I am in no way short of vitamin D. You should you can't tell how tan I can.
When you
you can see the sock tan line from work.
No, I can tell first on the back of your sleeve. I saw like a little bit of red skin, and I was like, "Is he wearing sunscreen?"
I was actually today. I did for the first day.
Good.
I didn't wear it yesterday, and today it was hot.
Yeah.
I feel like, sunscreen helps the dirt stick to you because I was disgusting. You couldn't tell I had tattoos by the end of the day because it's just been so dry. So I'm raking. Like what we're doing is we're grading this big ass hill in front of this house, and we're going to put grass in there. So we've just been scooping with the excavator. It's on like a pretty nasty slope too.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking up and down hill, raking the dirt, and then picking all the rocks out of it and all the roots and shit because it's just a mess, and then grading it so it looks like a nice spot to plant grass. And it's just so dusty. Like my boogers are black and brown. If you go in the bathroom, don't open the shower curtain. It's just
dirt.
Oh my God. Rinsing off. I'm like, it was like I'm just getting out of a mud puddle. It's crazy, but it's awesome. I'm not complaining at all.
Good.
It's been so nice.
Yeah.
Would you like a snap pea?
Yes, please.
My neighbor brought these over.
Please.
I love it. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
This is what I love about summer is growing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Listen. Oh, God. It almost fell out of my mouth.
It's delicious. So good it'll fall out of your mouth. I was saying when you got here, can you tell I got the right kind of weed? This is awesome. I love this.
You're like...
Because it just, in a goofy sativa high mood, this is what I've been needing for months because, I still go black market with my weed sometimes, and I got a good weed guy. But it sucks going to a weed guy because you pay less, a lot less, but it's like, I got this. And you're like, and he's like, or nothing, this is all you get. So it's like, you're going to get that same high.
All the time.
And that last weed was just making me sleepy. Not sleepy.
What was it, indica?
It was an indica dominant hybrid. This shit's just straight sativa. This is Frankie's Incense Lemon Haze. And I got it from Indigenous Bloom, the dispensary up West Saanich Road. I believe it is 10393 West Saanich Road, if I remember Google Maps correctly. And the prices are great. There's no tax. They're super sweet. They're awesome people. I went in there and got a couple of different kinds last night. Yeah. Hell yeah. Go buy your weed up the road if you're listening in Brentwood or even in Victoria. Because otherwise, I would have had to drive all the way into town and go to a farm and pay $50 an eighth.
Hell no.
And they just seem to, when I go to the weed store, I like to just browse.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pestered. I don't want people like, so what kind of high are you looking for today?
Oh, God.
Fuck off. This one's really cerebral. It's got a real good lemon taste to it.
Stop.
The last time I went
cerebral.
The last time I went to farm on Douglas Street, that's really like, what kind of high are you looking for today, bro? I'm like, I just want sativa. But the shitty thing is you say that in your mind, but in person you're like, well, because you start to mimic their actions. You're like, fucking look at me. But this stuff is good. I love it. And I'm probably going to go there again if I want to grow my own sativa though. Ooh. I got some on the way. I got some seeds. I ordered them on the weekend. You okay?
I'm good. Yeah.
What's up with you? How are you?
Oh, pretty good. This past weekend, I was dog sitting for my cousin. Oh,
what kind of dog is it? I did get a dog snap. That's right.
You did. She's a...
It just hit me now. That's what "and so it begins" meant.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You're like,
it's
okay.
a dog. What's it going to do? And you're dog sitting. God damn it.
She's a poodle lab border collie mix. Her looks are very poodle-like. She's very like tall and lean and lanky, and she has her black fur. It's half curly, half straight. It's like a combo of fur and hair too. She has a very unique like feeling and texture.
There's a difference between fur and hair on a...
Yeah. Fur is like super duper soft, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, but fur I think is more likely to be hypoallergenic because it doesn't like shed, whereas hair sheds.
I always just called dog hair and dog fur the same thing. It's a furry dog. Well, what about a fuzzy dog then?
It depends because like a fuzzy dog can be like hairy or furry.
Furry. Oh, wow.
I know.
What kind of hair does your dog have? It doesn't have hair. He's a fuzzy.
He's
furry,
a fur.
Pomeranian.
Get it right.
He's not a hairy, fuzzy Pomeranian.
But yeah, the dog's personality is very lab-like, very happy, very dopey, very always wants your attention and your affection, and just wants to like lean against you and be physically touching a person at all times.
I want a dog.
Oh my God, she made me want to have a dog so badly, except I haven't like had dogs in years, probably like 10 years now, actually. And we were the first night, Brandon and I were taking her for a walk, and she took a poo, and I was like, okay, no problem. I have bags, picked it up. And then we're like, la-di-da-di-da, like walking. And then because I live on a cul-de-sac, we're halfway down my street. And I turned to Brandon and I'm like, what do I do with the poo?
Garbage.
And he's like, do we take it home and throw it away? And I'm like, I don't know. Where do I put the poo? So then we get to my house, and I'm like hanging it outside my door, and I'm like, Grandma, where do I put the poo? And she's like, in a fucking garbage can. And I was like, there were none around me when she took the poo. Like, there were none around me. I'm not going to walk out of my way to go find one. Stupid.
What did you do with the poo?
I walked to the nearest bus stop and put it in the trash.
That's good.
But yeah, I just had this complete moment of like,
oh yeah,
what do I do with this?
If you're not used to it, yeah, it catches you off guard. It's like, oh shit, there's no garbage can.
And then I like really fucked myself over because I like naturally, now that I've been going to the gym, when I walk, because I'm so used to being on the treadmill, I like my arms sway. So like I'm holding the poo and I'm like swaying it, and then it like hits, like not the actual poo, but the smell hits me in the face, and I'm just
I
like,
meant the bag.
no, just the
Swinging
smell.
arms real hard.
And I was like, like in my cul-de-sac, I'm like, I can't take it. And Brain's like, what's happening? And I'm like, I just wafted the poo in my face.
There aren't a lot of smells out there that hit
get
you
me.
quite like dog poo.
Yeah,
Like,
there's something about it.
What? Hold on. Like, what's another smell that just gets you? Like when you smell it, you just it just makes you want to throw up. That you can think of.
Damn, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a stumper, right? Because I can't think of it. Like I know
but I'll know it when I smell it.
I can think of towns like Brooks, Alberta. For some, there's something there. It's not because of the people. It's not because of the people. There's some sort of plant there or something that when you start driving towards Brooks, it's like Brooks, 2 kilometers, and you just something just starts to smell, and you're like, oh, that's that. God damn it, that's that Brooks smell. And you hope that you don't need gas. You're like, I got enough gas to get me to Calgary. I don't need to stop in Brooks. Or you going the other way. I can make it to Medicine Hat. It's fine. But there's just something about that place. It just smells.
I thought of one.
Huh.
This one's like obvious though. But I mean, so is dog poo, kind of. Like roadkill. I remember I was like going for a walk one day, and yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you.
Peas, please.
And every day, I'm pretty sure someone hits a raccoon on the highway, or every other day. Side note, lately I've found a lot of birds dead on the road, and it's because I've seen so many fucking birds just tootling around on the street, and will not move when your car's coming for them. So a lot of birds are killing themselves by accident.
Nature is healing itself.
Yeah.
We're getting back to killing the animals.
But yeah, so I guess I was on a walk on this like trail that's near the highway, and I guess an animal or a person like took the like roadkill raccoon and like put it in the like ditch next to this trail. And I was walking and I was just like, I was like, what the fuck is that? And of course, I'm like, I need to know what that smell is so I know to never be around it again. And I like look around and it's this raccoon, and I was like,
Yeah, rotting animal is not good. Back to what you said. You said it's usually a raccoon. Mm-hmm. How is that family of raccoons doing?
the ones that live under my deck?
No, I'm just like, just imagine that you're like, man, pretty much every day it's a raccoon. I'm like, in the same place. Like, my God. The mom's like, I just had 8 new babies. Oh, they're getting so big. And every day she's just losing one.
Boom.
Where's Jacob? He didn't come home. Just dead raccoons everywhere.
And then the sibling goes and looks for them. And
The dad's starting to drink. He's like, God damn it, woman, I gave you 8 babies. Where are half of them? For me, it's if you cook chicken, so you use the container and you don't rinse it off, the little piece of styrofoam, and you're just like, I'll leave it in the garbage, it's fine. Then you go away for the weekend and you forget about it, and it's the summer, and you leave all the windows closed. Oh, there was like 1 or 2 times I've done that, and I'll never do it again. If I cook chicken, I'm like, man, I'm going right to the dumpster outside. Fuck this, because that smell, that rotting chicken smell, rotting raw chicken. It just, and you can't get rid of it for a while.
Not at all.
It's just nasty.
But yeah, so dog sitting, that was great. Loved it.
How long do you have to watch the dog for?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh man, a whole weekend.
I know.
I should have brought him over here when we recorded with Jaden.
I know, right? I thought about it, especially because she really loves people, but she's 1 and she has the high energy needs of a poodle and a border collie. So like, she just would have been like weaving around, running around.
I thought about it too, and we got like cameras set up and mic cables everywhere, and if the dog ran through here and pulled everything through, I'd be pretty sure.
Yeah.
God damn you, dog.
But yeah, she's also like the chillest dog I have ever been around. She never ever barked. The only time she like
Poodle, Labrador, Border Collie.
Yeah.
Crazy mix. I've been trying to think of a name for that for like the last 5 minutes, but I can't think of anything. Like a Labra Collie Doodle.
Ooh.
That might work. A Labra Collie Doodle. Labra Collie Doodle.
Yeah.
Ladybird.
Yeah, the only time she made any sort of noise was when she was trolling Brandon and I at night, because she was sleeping in our room, and we like took her out, brought her to bed, and then we were in bed and she was on her bed, and she would let out one, like, not even a whimper, just a sigh. She'd be like,
oh yeah,
and then we'd be like, oh, okay, she might have to pee. Take her out. Nope. She literally just wanted our attention. Well, and I'm like, hey, come on.
Because the dog wants to come lay in the bed with you.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just like, really?
Yeah.
You're not going to let me up there? Come on.
But yeah, and then our weekend was really tame, really nice with the dog, and then Fast and the Furious comes in.
Yeah, okay. What was that in reference to?
So on Sunday, after...
Before you start, I've recently watched the first one.
Nice.
Too Fast, Too Furious in the background. Fast 5.
Nice.
The Fast and the Furious.
Which is number
4 in the timeline, but 6 on the things. Yeah, I watched those.
Yeah. Nice.
So I'm like
the
refreshed on Fast. The original is still great.
I know.
It's still great. Vin Diesel looks like a child in that.
I know, right? Like, he looks so young. Same with Michelle Rodriguez. Oh, yeah. She looks like a little baby too. Paul Walker like did not change at all. He just cut his hair.
He's just a robot.
Yeah, was.
Poor guy.
Ugh.
Anyway, sorry.
Sad.
Sunday, Fast and the Furious.
Sunday.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, after you're done, I have a point. To make about the first movie.
A point.
Okay.
So after my cousin and her fiance came to pick up their dog, it was around dinner time, like 6 o'clock, and Brandon and I are driving to his house in his car, and we're going onto the highway, blah, blah, blah. And there was this bitch, and she was like, I didn't notice this, but did, because he was driving, obviously. She was tailgating us so hard on the highway, and the same thing at McTavish roundabout. And then she stopped briefly when a cop car was in the roundabout, and she kept checking her mirrors, making sure that he wasn't coming for her. And then when he was gone, she kept tailgating us. And she was going the same direction as us. So we're on Dean Park Road, where it's
40.
Yeah. And Bran was already going like 50 because the speed limit used to be 50. So it's hard to like, anyway, hopefully no cops are hunting. But yeah, he was going 50 already. So like 10 over, and she's riding his ass all the way up the hill. And then his driveway comes and he puts his left signal on. And as he's turning, she gets into the oncoming lane, and it's a solid yellow and passes us going 80.
Wow.
And Bran, I've never seen him like this before. I was like, who are you? This is when Fast and the Furious kicks in, because Bran says, oh, you're fucked, and stops pulling into his driveway and like guns it up the hill and is like following her and chasing her down. And we're like weaving on Dean Park, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? And then this dumbass leads us to a dead end. So, like, I know how this sounds right now, but I'm like, what if we were actual psychopaths and you trapped yourself in a corner, like, dummy?
Stupid.
So I get out of the car and I just go up, and she immediately, like, I get out, I'm like walking to her car calmly, and she like, I see her with her ponytail and she goes like this, and she's like grabbing her stuff thinking she's hot shit, and she gets out of her car, and I'm like, hey, so what makes you think it's okay to do what you just did and put our lives in danger? Especially because if you hit us going 80 and T-boned us while we were turning into a driveway, we'd both be so fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was like, did you just fucking follow me to my private address? And I'm like, this is a dead end. Do you live in the bush, you dumbass? And she just kept being like, did you just follow me to my private address? And I'm like, did you just almost kill my boyfriend and I? Like, what the fuck? And then the kicker, she's wearing scrubs. And she's coming from Sydney, so she works in a dental office or a home care place or a walk-in clinic. And I like know people who work in the hospital, and if you are required to like wear scrubs, you're not allowed to leave your place of work in your scrubs because of COVID right now. So dumbass number 2 thing. Anyway, I go full like stalker mode because I wanted to get her license plate, because in hindsight, I've been driving on Dean Park Road before in my car, and someone's done that to me too. And in hindsight, I'm pretty sure it's the same woman, same white SUV. So she kept saying this is her private address. And I'm like, okay. So Brandon and I go on Google Maps, go on Street View. There is a house in the thicket of the bushes at the dead end. So she led us to her house, dummy. Like number 3,
Her
dummy.
Private residence.
Yeah. Like, isn't, 5 dummy. So then from Street View, we like do it, click on the house, get the address, and then like have her address because we couldn't get her license plate. So Brandon and I decided that because this has happened to me before and she did that to us, and like this is repeated behavior, that I'm gonna like send an email to road safety and be like, hey, this is the person's address. I couldn't get their plate number. Like, I have a serious concern for this. She was going 80 in a 40 zone and almost T-boned us by passing us on a solid yellow.
Well, what's the
like?
What
the fuck is the point?
What's your hurry? There's no hurry big enough that you
No.
can't wait for someone to turn left from in front of you, so you can just, at least if you're gonna do that, pass on the right.
Yeah.
Like, go the other way, you moron.
The way
like, I know it's a pretty narrow road.
Yeah.
I know that. But there's still like a little tiny bit of a bike path and gravel.
Yeah.
If you're in that much of a hurry, don't almost collide with the car.
Yeah.
Go around the car.
Yeah.
Or just wait a
right?
second.
Like, it's not even like Brandon was doing under the speed limit.
Well,
like,
you're supposed to, well, if you that's a big piss off of mine, is that when you're speeding and people still tailgate you. It's like, no, motherfucker, I'm giving you 10.
Yeah.
I'm giving you 15 almost.
Yeah.
Back the fuck up. And that's when I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. And
you slow down.
I give them the arm out the window and go.
Yeah.
A couple of those. And then I fucking hate it because sometimes you'll get like a back and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You're like, what are you doing?
You know what I'm doing to you. But
Yeah.
But this is the thing. We've talked about this before. People don't know what they're doing behind the wheel.
I know.
They don't. I dated a girl back in 2018. I'm not going to name her name.
Yeah.
But she dropped me off at the ferry once. And instantly, she's on the ass of the car in front of her. And the car's doing 60 in a 40.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I look at her and I go, what are you doing right now? She knows how fucking mad I get at tailgating. I go, what are you doing right now? She goes, what? I said, look how close you are to this car. And she goes, oh, I didn't even notice. So like that right there, just the complete obliviousness.
Yeah.
Sure. Or oblivion. I won't say oblivion, but that's wrong.
No.
Obliviousness of what you're doing. It's like, pay attention.
know.
I got into this. Oh my God. Okay. So I recently deactivated my Facebook account, but I had to reactivate it to log into Podbean to do some stuff. So I'm like, I'm still logged in. I'm just not, I haven't gone on Facebook well, at this point, it's a week. It's been a week and it feels great. But the last thing I witnessed on Facebook was this person posts this picture of a guy in Victoria standing behind his car, license plate, and he's like, big smile, and the whole caption is like, my friend was driving her scooter on interurban road, blah, 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 and this guy brake checked her, came to a complete stop, and she slammed into the back of him. And he got out of the car and started yelling at her, saying, you stupid bitch, why were you following me so close? And then he smiled for this photo as she was taking it, and she was like, you fucking shouldn't have stopped, blah, blah, blah. And then he got in his car and took off. If you know him, please report. It's all the comments. Oh my God, the comments started flowing out. And I'm just reading them, and I see one, and this idiot. Oh, all I know, I remember his name was Ryan. Ryan something.
Ryan the
I
idiot.
remember the last name, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to roast you, Ryan.
But this guy's like, it's completely his fault. She was, because someone's like, I think she was probably following too closely.
Yep.
This woman from Calgary is like, she was 100% following too closely. I drive a Harley Davidson motorcycle. I know what following too closely is. If she had been following at the proper 2 to 3 second to follow distance, she would have had ample time to stop.
Yep.
And the guy probably wouldn't have brake checked her.
Yep.
Because she was following too close. And
Yeah.
this guy's like, oh, that's bullshit. You're such a bitch and blah, blah, blah. Starts going off. So I just chime in. I go, but he's like, it's two car lengths is your following distance.
Yeah.
I go, well, it's not though. 2 car lengths.
Oh, sorry. I thought I
Yes,
heard 2
okay.
seconds. Yeah,
No,
never mind.
2 car lengths. And I'm like, no. I go, buddy, it's 2 seconds of follow distance.
Yeah.
And if you're going at higher speeds than that, like 100K
It's like
plus,
5.
it's like 3 at least.
Yeah.
And then you judge accordingly depending on road conditions.
Yep.
And this guy's like, I think that you'll learn in driving school that it is 2 car lengths between cars, blah, 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 blah. I've been driving for this. I'm like, dude, I said, I think you're mistaking 2 car lengths in 2 seconds because I've been driving for 27 years and I haven't had any accidents and,
Yeah.
and this and this and this. And he goes, oh, you will someday. He goes, I've had 4 and only 1 was my fault. I'm like, oh, God, really? I'm like, 4?
Oh, my
4
God.
accidents? But only 1 was your fault. Sure. And
Yeah.
so I just went, all right, I'm just gonna
I'm
step
out.
back. But this girl from Calgary and him went toe to toe in the comment section for hours. So I just like, I turned the TV off. I'm like, I'm reading this.
Yep, you're like,
I started messaging her. I'm like, this guy's a fucking moron. She's like, oh my God, this is just killing me. But the backboard, he eventually made it personal. He's like,
Oh, yep.
fuck you, you bitch. Nobody,
Yep.
if I were your boyfriend, I wouldn't fucking do that. I'm like, oh my
Yep.
Lord.
See, this is what little boys trapped in male adult bodies, like this is what happens is when they feel like they're losing an argument or, getting one-upped or shown who's bossed by a woman, they immediately go from like arguing their point to like belittling her and being like, you fucking bitch, like you need to be controlled. Like just take your toxic masculinity and your fragile ego and shove it up your asshole.
Well, Bill Burr has this bit where he's like, if you're in an argument with your girlfriend or your wife, you know you've won when she starts making it personal. It's to say it works both ways.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, you're fat and your jeans don't fit anymore. And he's like, that's when you just lean against the ropes.
Yeah.
Just move back and forth, let her tire herself out. It's so good.
Truly, like
But
that.
this guy had children. I saw pictures. He had children.
Oh,
That's
no.
the worst part. Is like he's gonna teach his kids this.
Oh no.
They should. Somebody just said to just. I'm trying to tie this in the name of the king, but I'm like, this is going to sound terrible, so I'm not.
So
let's just start talking about the movie.
I know
So I'm
what
like,
you're gonna
Somebody
say.
should just tell him that his kids are dead, and then the kids can live a happy life, and then maybe find him later. Maybe he'll become more of a better person like Burt Reynolds was as the king in this movie. In the name of the
That was
king,
Burt
the
Reynolds?
dungeon. It was, yeah.
Oh
Fuck
my.
yeah, it must be. I was just thinking, it must be Burt Reynolds or something.
Oh my
Because
God.
I looked at the lineup in this movie before
was
watching it, and I was like,
beefy.
holy shit, Ray Liotta, Jason Statham, Burt Reynolds, Lily Sobieski, fucking
John
Rhys
Rhys-Davies.
Davies. Everybody was in there. I was like, man, this is going to be great. It is garbage.
Nope.
Absolute
This,
trash.
I'm pretty sure this is the worst pick you've ever picked.
It's bad.
Like,
Well, I really wanted to watch it because I just love impersonating Jason Statham poorly. Like, did you notice that, like, almost everybody in this movie spoke with vocal fry?
yeah.
It was like, you're not allowed to speak without vocal fry.
Do you understand what you're doing?
Even when you're pulling the beats out of the ground, you got to make sure you throw this boomerang afterwards. Let's just get right into this. This thing is trash. Okay, yeah, I picked it because, well, it was funny because when we picked it out of the thing, you were like, it's PG. It's actually PG-13. I don't know how it got a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was like depictions of violence. I'm like, the fights were some of the worst fights I've
violence?
ever seen.
Where?
They tried to make like 100 extras look like 2 legions of men.
Yeah.
Now, I looked up how many men are in a legion.
Oh.
4,000 to 6,000 soldiers in a legion. So there should have been 8,000 to 12,000 soldiers. There are points where we see that the legion, and I'm like, that's like 60 guys in the shot.
Yeah.
And then there was even one part where they're fighting in the woods, jumping ahead and we'll jump back. Fighting in the woods, and the camera's flying by, and there's a
know.
tree going through the shot, and I'm like, and wipe, and wipe, and wipe to the same 50 guys fighting. So bad.
Yep.
So I have this. Okay, this starts off. So, oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna break down this movie. If I remember correctly. Okay.
Try to break it down.
So Burt Reynolds is the king of. I don't know what the land is.
Ebb.
Oh yes, the king of Ebb. EHB. EHB. Ebb. Burt Reynolds is the king of Ebb, and the Krugs have decided to attack the land. But we soon find out that Ray Liotta is a magician, a magi, a mage, if you will.
Yeah.
A magus.
A something.
They have a number of
Yeah.
names for these magical characters. So he's in control of the Krug, and he's trying to take over the throne of Ebb. Burt Reynolds finds out that his son of 30 years that he thought was dead is alive because he was 3 when he went missing on the battlefield that they had at some point. So Jason Statham is farmer. His village is attacked by the Krug in the first attack. He loses his son. Son is murdered by the Krug, being controlled by Ray Liotta, and his wife is taken hostage. So he vows revenge as a man working. Well, he just goes out on his own, and then he finds out that he's the king's son. This is such a fucking stupid, complicated movie.
Yep.
There are points where I'm like, God, I missed it. I've turned the subtitles on at 30 minutes because Jason Statham just fucking tells me down there. I gotta find my wife. Well, I was in that movie, The Meg. It's a shark.
I play the exact same guy in every fucking movie.
I'm Jason Statham. I'm Farmer. Farmer Camden.
Camden
Hold on.
Camden Chesterfield.
Camden Conrad.
Conrad. I like Chesterfield, but
So this movie starts off with Ray Liotta, the Magi, just making out with the king's daughter.
not the king's daughter.
Well.
The king's mage's daughter.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Then how, God damn it. Then how the fuck did John Rhys-Davies not know that she had magic? It's his daughter.
I don't know, man. I don't fucking know.
I was thinking it was the king's daughter.
Nope.
But that also seemed weird because there's a point where, no, remember when what's her name in the movie? Lily Sobieski, the blondie.
Miriella.
Miriella shows up after Statham is king, and she's like, I'm the king's daughter, and I'm going to fight. Doesn't she say that? Does she say king's niece then?
No.
She says she's somebody's daughter.
Yeah, Merrick, John Rhys-Davies.
She says Merrick's daughter, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I totally missed her. I thought she's a king's daughter because I'm like, yes, I'm the king's new sister, and he didn't say anything. I was like, it was weird that you wouldn't acknowledge that.
I know, he's like, hello,
Sure, you can fight with me. Join the army.
We need all the help we can get. Fuck.
Okay, so then Leota's trying to bang the daughter of Merrick.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got power, so you got to use that power sometimes.
But he's sucking it out of her.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that arrangement at all.
I know.
Because it doesn't come to like fruition. Like
No.
there's no point where she's like, oh my God, I can't believe what you did to me affected this part of the story. There's none of that.
Nope. She just briefly like breaks up with him.
Yeah, and then like later on is like, oh, welcome back to my chambers. Like, you know, you're not supposed to just drop in here whenever you
Yeah.
want, but you can. Which is again, I'm just
And
like,
she's
well,
like, leave at once.
but don't wait.
But don't. But
And
don't. I mean, but like, don't.
You can stay. Vocal fry. There was only like one person that talked without vocal fry, and I can't even tell you who it was. I'm doing it.
Matthew
I'm doing it
Lillard.
right. Oh my God, Lillard. I can't
He
take him.
sometimes had an accent, and then he sometimes did not.
Statham didn't have an accent at all. Where are they? Where is the
know.
kingdom of Ebb?
And also, I was thinking about this. Like half of the actors are performing with accents. Jason Statham, John Rhys Davies, and Matthew Lillard half the time. And then Burt Reynolds and Ray Liotta and the chick who plays Miriella and Ron Perlman are not. They're like Americans. So what the fuck? And then when we find out that spoilers, when we find out that Jason Statham's character is the son of the king's American sounding and Jason Statham's British sounding. And I know what you're saying. Well, they were separated for 30 years. But then it was revealed that Norik, Hellboy, Ron Perlman, found him on the battlefield and like took him to the town and raised him. But he's American. So where did his fucking accent come from? Like he's just a boy and he's like, no, I don't like how that sounds. I'm going to talk like this. I'm a farmer. Like, what the fuck?
It's the Van Damme syndrome. Statham has Van Damme syndrome. He can't.
Not be himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because really,
Same with The Rock.
yeah. We're coining that phrase right now. Van Damme syndrome.
Van Damme
When an
syndrome.
actor cannot
VDS.
talk. He's got a case of the VDS. When an actor can't mask their own accent and can't speak differently.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It probably has a technical like name, but
Same with Vin Diesel.
VDS. I like that.
He
Oh,
kind of can
man.
mask it in Guardians of the Galaxy, but not that
Because
much.
he's Groot. It's like
Yeah.
he's just saying,
He's like,
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
And even as a full-grown Groot, he still kind of sounded like
Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. I love how all of these guys that have VDS are like, A, the majority of them are part of the same fucking franchise, and B, they're all the same like genre of dude, like action.
here.
Yeah.
Like Daddy's got to go to work. Oh, Ron Perlman. Okay, I normally enjoy Ron Perlman.
Yeah. He's insufferable.
It was, so he shows up as we get introduced to Farmer and his son, and they're picking beets in the field. And
And
he's like,
it's like rip-off Shire music from Lord of the Rings. It was like do 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 do.
this was a really wannabe version of something.
Lord of the Rings. The Krugs, I was like, wanna be Uruk-hai.
Yeah, basically, they were like, I call them dollar store orcs.
Yeah.
They were bad. They were bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, their faces aren't even like monsters. They're
No,
just, they're
they're like-
masks. And like, they fight like animals. No, they fight like men.
Yeah.
They're running around on 2 feet with arms and swords. They don't like,
I know. Like, what do you mean they're fighting like animals? What the fuck?
were they walking around on all fours 2 weeks before this? And they're like, oh man, something's different. I don't know what it is, but they're fighting strangely. But yeah, Ron Perlman shows up with a pig, and he's like, same deal as always. Pig for the winter's corn. He's like, it's the same fucking thing as always.
Yeah.
Stay for dinner. Oh yeah. It's like, imagine that though. Just think, like, how cool would it be? I kind of wish I could just like flash back to those times and live like a year in the olden days where it's like, I'm gonna give up
Bartering?
one of my livestock for a store of corn. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I just pitched the idea of, I think we might have been talking about this before we started recording.
Yeah.
I pitched the idea to my landlord and the owner of the building about making a little corner.
Community garden.
Because that west side of the building just gets a ton of sun. I just want to grow stuff. My patio is doing okay, but it's just not. I need a big like reflector mirror or something for the afternoon. Is blast it onto my patio.
Yeah.
We just burn them. Start a fire. Magnifying glass. Who burned the building down? I'm sorry, it was the peas. Man.
Yeah.
I was trying to grow cherry tomatoes.
It was wife. Ooh.
Ooh, as soon as I saw her, I was like, square jaw.
She was Brandy from Mallrats. So yeah, back in like the 90s, she was like the heartthrob in Mallrats. She was cute. She's done a couple other things. I didn't recognize her at first, and I'm like, what does this chick look like? Okay, everyone in this movie was too attractive.
Yeah.
Distractingly attractive.
Yeah.
Everybody. I'm like, no.
This is olden times.
Yeah.
Give me shitty teeth.
Everyone's got perfectly white manicured teeth.
Yeah.
Fingernails are clean.
Yeah.
Skin is clean. I'm like, all dreamy fucking eyes. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
everybody's
their
just-
hair, whoever has it, is like styled and coiffed. Like, shut the fuck up.
Mel Gibson in Braveheart looked grubby and grungy,
Yeah,
but
he
he was
looked
still attractive.
dirty.
Yeah, and his wife in that movie, she was plain. She was still cute though, but she wasn't like distracting
like-
you from the story. Yeah, we're Statham's wife's tits even real?
Nope.
Like, where'd she get them done?
I know.
Come on into medieval boob jobs.
Medieval.
We'll do your tits for a cow.
We'll do your tits for some teats.
Trade a pig for some B cups. Oh, I'm like, come on. It's just like, it was distracting. Everyone was just distractingly good looking.
I know.
So it's hard to take this seriously. This was in the first 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, come on. Really?
And then also, you're expecting me to believe that Jason Statham is 33 years old. You're expecting me to believe that.
How old is he?
I don't know.
I
Plus,
think-
our phone's right there.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to Google
Oh, he's
it.
going to Google it.
52.
Yeah. Okay, so in this movie, he was 10 years ago would be 42, and then
39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're yeah, he looks
But now, like, between then and now, he hasn't aged a day.
No,
It's crazy.
not at all.
Like you watch Snatch, he looks a little bit younger, and then
and then you watch Hobbs and Shaw and you're like, that's the same guy, same year.
it's hilarious. I just recently, I think in the last few months, watched Hobbs and Shaw, and then watching this, I'm like, whoa, it's just so weird to see him in such a cheesy,
I know.
cheesy
Where he's
role.
not like, I'll go fucking kill you.
Fuck you, Dwayne. Yeah, so then we get introduced to King Burt Reynolds,
Yeah.
and it's just Burt Reynolds just being Burt.
Yep,
Same,
100%.
Same voice, same mannerisms, everything. I'm the king. Oh, that's a horrible Burt Reynolds.
I'm the king.
And then we see Matthew Lillard, who I thought, I'm like Lillard, and I go, Prince Lillard? Like, no,
Yeah.
we learned later that's his nephew. So it's not really the prince. He's just
like-
kind of hanging out, mooching off the king.
Because the king has no like heirs that he knows of, so his the next person in line has to be a male blood relative.
Why would you pick that kid though? Like, really, if you're the king,
Couldn't you bestow it on someone fucking else?
yeah, you should be able to just pick and be like, listen, give me a bunch of the young kids in town,
Yeah.
bring them out here, and we'll put them through the trials and
Bring me
see if-
someone who's not a fucking idiot.
Bring me my ranch dressing hose. Just anyone. Like, bring them up. We'll see how they work out, and then we'll pick one. I think if you're the
Yeah.
king, you should be
You
able
can
to
do
that.
whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, because, like, why? I guess he did that with his nephew. He's like, well, you're not my blood relative, but you're close, so you're next in line. Because there's that point where he's like, the king's dead. And he's like, I'm the king now. And you're
Yeah.
like, for fuck's sakes, you little bastard.
So we're introduced to the farmer and his son, and you're fucking telling me. Actually, no, as soon as I am about to say this out loud, it makes total sense for this time period, but not for that one. You're telling me that someone who just goes by the name Farmer, named their child Zeph, not like Bill or like Stu.
John,
Fucking
James.
Zeph?
Zeph.
Someone named I believe that nowadays because you have girls who are like, yeah, my name's Ashley, but I'm gonna name my kid like
Asher.
Asher, ASCHAER.
E. Yeah. Always too many letters. We've talked about it
Yeah.
before. I was on swiping through Tinder and I saw a Megan that was, I think it was like MHEAEGHAN.
E.
I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
You're like left.
Listen, yeah, swipe. get out of here.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those girls that are like, you've said, before, you're like, actually, you spelled it wrong.
Actually. That's like, did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For like the first 5 seasons, I never finished it.
Okay, so this is later on in the seasons, like season 7 or something. Spoiler, Barney and Robin like date again.
Again.
Yeah. And they're out on a date, and then they meet this couple, and the guy is played by Keegan-Michael Key. And there's this chick, and I forget how the names come up. They introduce themselves, and they're like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Kristen." And they were like, her name's not Kristen. And they were like, "Oh, sorry, Kirsten." She's like, "It's actually Kristen."
Oh, Jesus.
Kristen. And I'm like, "Yep."
Kristen.
Kristen.
Do you spell that Careeristen? Kristen?
Kristen.
Fuck out of here with that stupid name. Well, why would you do that to a child?
I know.
Well, Zeph's it's like Jeff with a Z.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how Farmer comes to
Well,
Zeph.
so this is where, because like there's some exposition here. So he's like, I'm gonna go. Where does he go? He goes to the castle or something, or he leaves. He gets separated from his wife and child at some point.
His wife and child go to deliver the fucking beets.
That's right. And then someone's
This guy
like,
is Dwight Schrute.
it's his kid. Schrute Farms. We got beets.
Zeph Farms.
We got beets. We got sweet peas, snap peas.
We got beets and we got
arugula.
boomerangs.
We got lettuce. We got Swiss chard. We got
Beets.
kale.
Boomerangs.
We got carrots.
Bullshit
Celery.
magic.
Corn. We got everything and cows.
We just don't have my son anymore.
Oh. How quickly did he die? Was it fast or slow?
Yeah, like I don't fucking know.
Why does she ask that?
Yeah.
Keep jumping ahead here, but what like that? She's like, what's that? Bastion. Bastion's
Bastion.
like, oh,
her brother.
Your son is dead, and she's
I
like,
love how he
oh no! Was it fast or was it slow? I'm like, what? Huh?
I love how his segue when she's like, "Is Zeph with our parents?" He's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
But they did. And then she's like,
Was it fast? Why does she ask that? Like, why? Why would you want to know that? You
Bish,
find out
I don't know.
You find out a family member just died and you go, shit.
Was
Did they die quick or was it
slow?
Would it take a while? It's an instant.
What was the manner of it? Be
How like much pain were they in? Was it a lot or a little bit?
My beat insurance policy does not pay out for fast deaths.
No, it's like got to take at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It can't be like a decapitation or a stabbing.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a stabbing, it's got to be the abdomen because they're going to bleed out. It's going to be a
Slowly
while.
bleed out.
It's going to take a while.
Ideally, he'd be pulled apart by horses. It is medieval times after all.
He was beaten to death with stones.
Great.
Yeah,
That should pay out brilliantly.
Actually, you didn't get the stone insurance, I'm afraid.
Oh, shouldn't have skipped out on that one, my
And
dear.
you better say he was decapitated, you motherfucker. I covered a decapitation. Oh, yeah. So as they're riding away, the kid goes, why is father's name Farmer? And the mom's like, oh, that's because the village took him in and accepted him as their own, and he grew the food, so they called him Farmer. I'm like,
They wouldn't name him? Like, seriously?
my name's Camden. And they're like, you're Farmer now.
Yeah,
You're our
fuck you.
Farmer. We're going to call you Farmer. He's like, it's Camden. Farmer Camden. That's your
Just
name
Farmer.
now. Listen, that's your name, buddy.
They took him in because they were making him their fucking slave,
Well,
farming for them.
But it seemed like he was
stripping his identity.
he's like, cool, I'll be a farmer. It's fine.
Yeah, he's like,
Ow.
a farmer.
How is he so jacked? Like, I know, okay.
As a farmer, I know.
Okay, I will say, like, back in Manitoba,
Back in
I saw some strong farmers. Some
Yeah.
strong ass farmers. Like guys
Lugging
that
that hay.
Guys that would take pitchforks and stab them in 100-pound hay bales and go whoop and put them up on like a 6-layer stack to their brother that's like, boom, grabbing it with one hand. Those motherfuckers are strong.
Yeah.
But they were never like built like the fucking rock. Like he's got traps.
And those were like hay tending farmers, not beet
Yeah,
farmers,
he
not gardeners.
Yeah, he should be like a little bit chubby, a little bit of a pudge, kind of thin. He's probably not eating a lot. He's just eating vegetables.
He's just eating
He could be
beets. His
eating
teeth should be stained red.
You'd eat 8,000 calories of beets to get that fucking jacked in 1640. Like, he just looked untimely big.
That pig that Ron Perlman was bringing wasn't for the family. It was just for him. He's like,
Yes, the same fucking do. Give me the pig.
Give me my lunch. Give me him. I was thinking that too. I'm like, you can't just eat that. And I'm like, oh, they're going to fatten it up with, I'm fucking so stupid.
oh, they're going to kill it.
They'll
They're
go
monsters.
through bone like butter. Be wary of a man who has a pig farm. Were we doing this on the last episode? Christ, continuity.
Yeah. We still talking about pigs.
So the Krugs attack, and this is just like the cheesiest attack
I know.
I've ever seen in a movie. Like the choreography in this. What these Krugs, I don't even know what, like, they were just sort of hopping towards
they were like-
Statham. Or no.
and
Oh, wait, the first one. Oh, yeah, it happened. He started hearing something. He was like, my king senses are. Because that's
He's like,
what we find
"Whoa."
out later is like the king senses. Because, like,
Yeah.
Merrick has that
tingly.
weird tingly power where he's like, wait a minute, something's wrong with Jason Statham.
I know.
So he's like, something's going on my farm. So he's like walking around. He turns, it's like, he turns around and he goes, and then he turns around the third time and it's like, Krug's behind him. I'm like,
And then he boomerangs it.
they're big, stupid, oafish, like dudes in suits, basically. They're not super stealthy,
slinking
invisible
around.
monsters.
Yeah.
He's in the open. He's like, turns around, like, is the Krug going, turning with him?
Yeah, he's like, what? Get me
Yeah.
that time, bitch.
Got you twice. And then misses, hitting him in the back of the head with him not looking.
Yeah.
This whole battle
Yep.
was just
And
stupid.
what's killer is this is literally everything we've fucking talked about so far is just the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're not even like we're coming up to where I wrote 20 minutes. I just said they look like dollar store orcs, and then is Leota controlling them?
Yeah, he's like fucking hyper speeding, mind melding into one.
Just the one though.
Yeah.
So, is he actually sitting there in the mind of this Krug at some point before this battle, planning everything with all the other Krugs?
I don't know.
I was thinking he was a hive mind of some sort because it just seemed like I thought he'd be like, maybe he's controlling them all, but he's just controlling one. And it seemed like there was a lot of pre-planning when it's like, this guy's been spending his time in the mind of a monster telling other monsters what to do. Because he says that later. He's like, I became the king of a
The king of the Krugs.
king of the people who had no king. And I became the king and I bowed him to myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Welcome
could
to
you
my
be?
crib.
How many
More.
times can you say king, bitch?
I'm the king. I'm a king, baby.
And then the point where Matthew Lillard is like, respect is my birthright.
Oh,
The
this guy's just
dialogue was so bad.
the writing in this
Yeah.
was absolute trash.
Yep.
This was one of the most poorly written movies we've ever watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, this is probably the worst pick. I think, yeah. I agree. It's one of the worst picks I've made.
At least, like, whenever we've reviewed really shitty movies, there has always been one thing that wasn't that bad. Whether it was the cinematography, whether it was the soundtrack, whether it was the storyboard or the organization of the plot or like a character development in one person. This doesn't have any.
The only thing I can say that I enjoyed about this movie was
when it ended?
Well, was that and Kristanna Loken dressed as a forest nymph.
Oh my God.
But even that
yeah.
I'm like, she looked hot in that, but I'm like, your acting is awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand your character, and I don't understand where these
It was
vines
like,
are swinging
no.
from.
It was
The
like
vines-
Cirque du Soleil.
I wrote down Cirque du Soleil in the woods. Like, what is this?
yeah.
Because they're vines. I'm like, if you swing on a vine, it's like a pendulum. But they're just like floating around.
Yep.
Like, what are these
And
on
then their like
tracks?
toes are pointed and they're like, cha cha.
Oh, it's like they're doing the silks. Like, hand down here and pointing
Her
from there. now.
like the vines wrapped around her leg and she's like
We don't like
she's like,
your kind.
get out of here now. We don't like you.
We're going to get you out of our forest.
Get out of here, silly.
It was so dumb. Oh, I made a note that it's crazy how flammable villages were back then.
I know.
Like, imagine if you went to light a joint on your patio and all of a sudden The spark from it went boom and hit the fence and just went.
Yeah, your whole thatch hut goes up.
Be terrifying. It's like, don't like that.
And then what I didn't understand about this, because the like mom and the son are at her parents' house delivering the wares, and then the Krugs attack, like we've talked about. And then she's up at the bell tower, like ringing the bell.
Oh yeah, because there was a wedding going on, and she had to ring the bell when
Yeah.
the bride and groom kissed.
Yeah.
Weird tradition.
I know. And like
Ebb
Krugs are
tradition.
burning down her fucking village, and she's like, gotta ring that bell. Like,
Oh, someone just got married. Arrow through the
Yeah.
chest. Ah.
and then the Krug is in there, like holding the grandparents like this, and then it's just like snaps both of their necks, like
Yeah,
throws them down.
Like nothing too. And this is where Galleon, that's his name.
Galleon like the ship.
He like confronts Statham at one point and he's like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look, I'll pull a piss and vinegar, and then he kills him. He's like, shit, chops his head off.
Yeah.
And clouds of black
Yeah, cloud
blood
black?
come out.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, oh, this is where the violence is. Oh no, it doesn't look.
Nope.
What is this?
And then I don't know, call me weird. Maybe this is a little crazy. But if you're going to commit to killing a kid in a movie, you can't cop out and just have this guy staring at the kid and the kid's like, ooh, and then that's it. Like if you're going to put in the script, we gon' kill a kid.
Then this needs an R
Show
rating.
it. Because killing a kid alone is like, you know, like one of the worst things. So you might as well, if you're deciding that your story is dependent on that, then follow it up with actually doing it and getting the rating you deserve, rather than copping out and being like, yeah, we killed him.
This movie could have made a great R-rated movie.
Yeah.
With a better writer.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know that the director of this directed Rampage? Not the same Rampage, though. Rampage from 2009 about some kid who goes crazy and makes a Kevlar suit and goes on a rampage with a machine gun.
Oh, no. I was thinking the monkey.
I did some digging. I'm like, I need to figure out what else this guy's done. Oh, garbage is what he's done.
Oh,
there's a
more trash.
Rampage, Rampage 2, and Rampage 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sir, retire.
Basically made a movie about a school shooting. Of
Yeah,
essentially
what
a
the
student
fuck?
shooting. And then this. And the other two.
Zoinks.
He did 2 and 3.
Yeah, no, like this, especially with Jason Statham, he shines his best when he's in an R-rated vehicle, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Meg,
Oh,
Fast
yeah.
and the Furious stuff, where he can just be literally fully be himself and be his full Van Damme syndrome and be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you kill my son, mate, you fucking cunt.
He still managed to be I would say the better part of this movie.
Yeah,
Like he was. Like he embraced this shit role with his terrible writing.
Yeah.
And owned it.
yeah, he didn't half-ass it and be like, oh,
Yeah, because it could have
kill you, you're
it
dead.
could have been bad. Like,
Yeah.
well, it was bad, but it could have been worse if he was like, oh, I'm just gonna mail it in.
My one thing about Jason Statham in this is that when he like discovers his son is dead or whatever, there's like no emotion.
No.
He's just digging the hole and he's like,
And then speed burying him.
yeah.
It's like,
He's
get
like,
him very fast.
Yeah.
And then dissolve.
and then his like wife's reaction is the polar opposite. Like she saw Jason Statham in that scene and was like, fuck, I need to bring it for the both of us. And she's like,
How quickly did he die?
yeah, like she phoned it in with like tears, sobbing, weird dialogue.
She had to because she hasn't had a role in a while.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta make this one count. Fuck.
So yeah, at this point, we get to the king shows up and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry for what happened at Stonebridge."
Yeah, I'm
and Statham's
so
like,
sorry.
"Fuck you! Where were the king's guards? They're supposed to guard us, protect us, you piece of shit." And they're like,
And doesn't get killed.
Tarish is like, "Watch your mouth when you talk to the king." He's like, "Fuck you too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get these motherfuckers." And him and
Norik
Norik
and Bastian
are like, "Fuck it, let's go." And so they show up at a broken bridge, and this is the most ridiculous scene. He uses his belt, swings across like Tango and Cash, climbs over the last couple feet, and then Buddy's like, "Listen, I'm gonna go first because I don't want you weighing
'Cause
the
you're a
rope
fucking
down."
badass.
Yeah. So Norik goes, and all of a sudden, Bastian's like, "Well, I better go too."
Yeah,
And
immediately.
like, you saw that he barely made it over.
Yeah.
Why in the hell would you put the weight of 2 people on that rope?
And then they're playing this like music that's like trying to force the mood of ha ha ha, this is funny, ha ha ha, this is slapstick, ha 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 ha.
I expected a slide whistle at one point. Like, come
when they
on.
were going back on the rope.
It was so dumb.
Yeah, like if this had a proper rating and writer, like this could have been like high stakes. This could have been thrilling. This could have been like, oh fuck, like cliffhanger.
Well,
but no, this was like.
At that point, I thought it was going to be like cliffhanger because all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, they collide and he jumps on his back, but they immediately fall.
Yeah.
I was waiting for like the down to one hand.
Yeah, they're like,
I'm going to send out my belt. Just wait. Like, yeah, no, it's not going to hold.
and then they fall in the river and they're like, yeah, that didn't take extra time. Like,
Yeah, it didn't affect the story at all.
no. When Jason Statham was like,
We're gonna lose a day if we go that way.
Let's take this rope across this broken bridge. Follow me. So then we flash back to Lillard. Oh, so Lillard is, what's he doing? He's sitting in the fucking throne, groping the queen?
I don't think that was the queen.
Is she just a whore then?
Yeah, I think. And he was
whore.
like,
You're making my. What did he say? Oh yeah. You make my bosom tickle.
and then the king comes and she's like, fuck, I'm out.
He's like, get out of my fucking throne. Oh, sorry, sire. And Tarsh is like,
sorry.
why don't you bow to the king like everyone else, you piece of shit?
Yeah.
And then they walk out and he hits Tarish and Tarish goes hit him back. He's like, you can't. It's like a touch me and I'll sue situation. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, I hate this piece of shit
He's like,
fellow.
unless the king specifically says you can hit me, you can't.
I'd smack that motherfucker and say, the king told me to do that,
Yeah.
bitch. And then like go ask the king. And the king
Be
would be
like,
like,
dude,
yeah.
the
I
king would
told him
totally
to."
vouch for you.
Absolutely. He's like, I hate this little punk.
Yeah.
You know he ain't. Like, I
He's
just,
like, my nephew's a fucking prick. Yeah.
I totally told him to hit you.
I totally told him to hit you. Fuck you, Lillard.
Little shit.
Little bitch.
I made a note that Galleon looked way too old for the king. Well, I wrote the king's daughter, but I was wrong. The king's niece. Is the king's niece?
No, the king, king's wizard's daughter.
King's wizard magi daughter.
Yeah.
That's so funny that like he's like, I had no idea.
And then Lillard goes downstairs to go talk to Ray Liotta, and we find out they're in cahoots. And then we also find out that Matthew Lillard's character is the ultimate Karen because he's like,
Make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen faster.
Make it happen now.
I want to talk to the manager. So then we
Speed it up.
flash to Sedgwick Forest. The names of the places
I know.
were awful. Sedgwick Forest, Christwind Prison,
Christwind.
the land of Ebb. Like, come
Yeah.
on, you guys are weak.
I know.
Stonebridge.
We had talked about passage of time, like how Nick's shorts were really good at showing the passage of time by using like street lights lighting up and stuff and like constant cut shots.
Yeah.
This, they're just like, we're in the forest, we have to go.
It's
and
one
like, dip
day.
To, dip to black, and it's on, dip to black, and then dip to black. I'm like, this is fucking brutal.
Yep.
Horrible. And it's like, show a vine moving, dip to black, and show another vine, something's going on in the forest, dip to black. I'm like, this is so tacky. Like, I've seen people make better movies on their fucking phones.
I know, right?
Ugh,
And then
This is why I was like, damn, hot forest chicks. Because they tie
they're
them up.
Cirque du Soleil-ing around.
Why is this boomerang such an important part of the story?
I know, it's never explained. He's just like,
Right, here's my boomerang. It's back to me, you see.
He hits somebody with it, and it still goes, comes right back to
yeah.
him. Like,
like the force of hitting something hasn't affected its trail of coming back
it
to you.
would have hit someone and stopped.
Yep.
That would have been it. I don't think boomerangs
Maybe
bounce
it's
off people.
a magic farmer boomerang.
Farmer boomerang.
Farmer
Got this from-
boomerang.
It has king's blood on it.
It's my blood, but I don't know that, and you don't know
I
that.
cut my finger when I was throwing it once because it's real sharp because it can cut vines, apparently. How the fuck did he cut a vine with a boomerang? It's not...
I know.
Because if it was sharp enough to cut vines, because vines are tough.
Yeah.
Like I've been pulling roots out of the ground when I'm raking dirt. Shit's fucking hard. Even if they're dead roots, they're still hard. I couldn't cut it with a boomerang. And he just throws a boomerang and it's like, comes around, hits it. And like, this is on the back swing. I love how it cuts his vine. He's upside down. And then the next shot is him going, and
and he like
front
flips
flipping. I'm like,
and lands straight up. He's like,
Yeah, right, I'm a magician.
we're going to leave
A
now.
gymnast, I mean.
We're just passing through.
and she's like, good, pass through and don't come back. It's like, How the fuck am I supposed to get home if I can't pass through here again?
Even the fact that she's like, this is our forest. No one's allowed in here. We're just passing through. All right, cool. Get out of here then.
All right.
And then
Hey,
she's
I'm just going to Alaska.
we just came up here from Seattle.
We're just going to Alaska. We swear. We're not
COVID
gonna.
is like totally gone in Seattle.
We're not gonna go to Jasper or Salt Spring. We swear we're going to Alaska.
Americans, if you're listening,
Stop coming here.
stay out of Canada right now.
Stop doing the loop-de-loo around. Stop putting us at risk.
Just stay there.
Stay in your own shitty
You
country
get your
right now.
Shit under control.
Wear your mask. Stay inside. Don't be stupid.
It violates their civil rights, though. I will not wear a mask because the devil tells people to wear masks. It is not in God's eyes to wear a mask.
It doesn't say in the Bible to wear a mask.
Jesus did not wear a mask, and he was fine.
Oh my
He was crucified, but he's fine.
He did wear a crown though, so I think I'm the king.
If Jesus told me to wear a mask, then I'll wear a mask.
It's like,
Jesus
okay,
not
well,
gonna wear a
Jesus
mask, not
wore
wear a mask.
robes. Are you gonna wear robes? No, because no one wants to see your tiny
It'd be
dick.
funny if people just walked around in robes. Like, you know what? Jesus rocked this. I'm gonna wear it too.
Yeah.
Robes and sandals.
Toga,
Be comfortable.
toga.
We'd probably be less judgmental.
True. I'd be
Toga.
it'd be hot as fuck though.
No, I'd like if that is what
Or
they
maybe
like.
easy
Shit they
breezy
wear in the
fabric.
Middle East, it makes sense because
Yeah,
it's cool
okay.
and it breathes.
That's true.
I look at
Also,
someone who lives in a desert and go, that must be working.
Speaking of wearing it in the Middle East, can we all just take a second and like admit that Jesus was not white?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like
You're blowing up some Christian brains right now. What do you
Jesus
mean?
was not
What do you mean?
white. Okay? He wasn't European. The queen didn't send him down. He's not white. Okay?
But apparently, well, if God was white, then Jesus was white, right?
Yeah.
But was Mary white?
No, Mary was
Mary was on vacation. She's like, I was vacationing from Britain.
I'm just
I want to
going
go down to the
Alaska.
desert. Stay in your country, Mary.
Yeah. Mary, come
She
on.
didn't listen to the quarantine rules. She wasn't wearing a mask. She got pregnant.
Yeah.
Had Jesus, the white man.
In a manger. And he was the farmer.
What the? Why? Like frankincense and myrrh. What was the other gift?
Frankincense, myrrh, and I don't know, a drummer boy.
Hey, Jesus, we brought you some frankincense, some myrrh, and this 8-year-old boy. Are you good? You got a drum? Is that what you're into?
And
We
the
can take it back if you're.
The 8-year-old boy is like, what do I do? And they're like, fucking drum!
Play the drum for Jesus, bitch. I can play paradiddles. That's all I know.
The little
just
drummer boy's
sweating.
like, feeling hot, hot, hot.
Keep playing. I've been playing for 3
Oh,
hours.
my fucking
Wise man
God.
got him at gunpoint. Jesus, the story of Jesus, 2020. If you're religious, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't
fuck.
care if we're offending you or not. You believe in this shit, I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. We're all entitled to our own beliefs, but it's
Oh.
a fact that Jesus was not white.
Yeah. Born in the Middle East, you're probably not white.
Probably not white.
Probably not white unless your parents are on vacation. So, Lillard and the King get poisoned.
Yeah.
Poison cannot kill Burt Reynolds.
Nope.
Not in this movie.
Nope.
No, because he's like,
He's too strong.
oh, been poisoned. He's in bed and he's like,
Yeah, and he's like, someone's poisoned me.
And this is where
Joke's on them.
this is where we find out that the Merrick is a magi because he's like, yeah, like, how did he just
He's
figure out what's
like-
wrong with him? He goes, what's wrong with him? Hang on. He just
He's like, boo.
puts his ear down and goes, he's been poisoned. I'm like, how the fuck do you
I
know
can
that?
hear the poison
I can
coursing
hear-
through his veins.
Poison's like, hey, man, what's up? This guy's blood. This king, I'm going to kill this king. This is awesome. I haven't poisoned anybody in a while. For some reason, he's Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Hey! So, and then he's like, yeah, just like plays piano on his chest for a second. It's like,
Yeah. He's like, doodle-doo.
he's got some time, I guess, if we can fix him. And then we flash down to,
Matthew Lillard.
he's like, oh, my stomach.
I don't feel so good.
Did you enjoy your meal, Karen?
Yeah.
I can't see Ray Liotta without thinking of Goodfellas. Why
know.
did you do that, Karen? Why? I dumped it in the toilet. There were cops. They didn't have a warrant, Karen.
And then Ray Liotta, for the most part, does like an okay job of not slipping into his like New York accent.
New
But
York.
but then at the very end of the movie, he's like, "Be gone," and I'm like,
gone.
"Oh my fucking god!" Of course.
He's such a bad guy because listen,
know.
you got Lillard poisoned, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I got the antidote right here, bro." And he's like, "I'll do whatever.
Kiss my boots.
I'll do whatever you want." And he's like, "Yeah, you will." And then he drops it for him and gives it to him. And then after he drinks it,
you
he's
will,
like,
bitch.
"So I just saved your life. Remember that." I'm like, "No, why didn't you get him to promise? You know how long the poison's going to take.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't kill people because it didn't kill the king.
Yeah, the king's just too fucking strong.
We don't see the king healed by anybody.
Well, that was what John Rhys Davies
that's-
was doing. He was like,
Really?
Ooh, magic.
Then why didn't? Oh my God! Then why when Tarash is like, "Can we save him?" Merrick goes, "Maybe if there's time." He should know.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
totally, I can save him.
"Yeah, totally. I'll just suck it out
'cause
with my finger."
A minute later, he goes and sucks it all out. I'm like, "Oh, if that's you healing him, then why wouldn't you just say, 'Yeah, I can heal him. I got this. Don't
He's
worry.
like-
Don't stress.'"
He's like, "Pause for suspense."
Yeah, maybe if I act quickly.
Baby.
Like, go make me a coffee, 2 cream, 1 sugar, and I want a snack. Maybe a donut
Also,
or bread.
the fact that he's like healing this guy, this is me just nitpicking because I can.
Oh, nitpick the fuck out of it.
So John Rhys Davies lost the tip of his middle finger. I don't know from what, but watching this, you quite like it's zoomed in on his hands, and his middle finger is literally like the tip is missing. So it's like this, and there's no nail. And I'm like, you're fucking telling me that this motherfucker can fucking zap poison out of the king's body, but he can't regrow and reform the tip of his finger? Like, that's a loop. Like,
That's budget right there. They're like, fuck, we
Yeah.
can't give him a fake finger.
just, don't use that hand. Have him go like with his good hand or some shit, or have a wand so it's like tucked in and he's like,
Well, I didn't notice that. I didn't even know he was missing a finger. I would have been like,
He's not
his character's missing a middle fingertip.
yeah. He's like, "Yeah, fuck you." And then Lillard was probably like, "Ding," with his little dagger.
Lillard.
Fuck you, mate.
So these forest nymphs, I don't even know. They don't even tell us who they are or what they are.
No, or
These
are.
Forest ladies lead them. They're
Rip
like,
off Ents.
They're like, "Listen, this is as far as we can take it. We're out of here." And she leaves, and I'm like, "Oh, you left them right next to a Krug army." Like, I'm talking like, "Oh, they're right in front of you," and they're like, brrr, pushing
Yeah.
catapults. I'm like, "Why wouldn't you stop 20 feet back in the woods and went, hey, this is as far as we can take you. There's a Krug army right there." Not, "Oh shit, went too far. See you later." She leaves because they get jumped immediately.
That was like driving someone home and like dropping them off on the highway and being like, "This is as far as I can take you."
Yeah.
And you're in the fast lane and you're like, "Get out."
I'm like a mile away. No, get the fuck out. I can't take that exit.
This
I
is
just
as
can't.
far as I will take you.
It just seemed silly. Like, why would
know.
you do that? Because they get jumped in the bush as soon as she walks away.
Yeah.
Like it was a setup. They're in on it. In the second one, I bet you
Probably.
they're in on it. But they get jumped by one scout, one guy, one outside guard that's like, "Oh, I got these fucking 3 guys." And he jumps them and gets beat up. And I'm like, okay, this is silly. Then I guess there's a second one because they end up with 2 helmets. I only saw one. So they're like, they look at the helmets and go like, "You thinking what I'm thinking?" They put the helmets on. And
We're
they-
Krugs.
And they infiltrate. Statham's not wearing anything.
I know. He's like, "Yeah, if this is me, I'm a Krug."
They're not
Look at
going to
me.
see my shiny head in the moonlight. Even though that's all you could see in the next 5 shots was his fucking dome just shining like the moon. Like, how do you not see that? And then the other 2 that are like moving like normal humans.
They're like-
and not like the Krugs.
"We're Krugs, we swear."
Hey guys, just taking a walk. That's how all the Krugs moved. Hey, and move like normal monsters or people.
Yep.
They're strange. So they infiltrate. They seem to find his wife immediately. And
Yeah,
she's
they're like, "There you are, Solana."
Solana club. They get clubbed. So they get locked up. And where are we at? God, this is only 59 minutes and 45 seconds. They go to hang. So Leota's in the body of the Krug again. Wants to hang Statham. Hangs him. Statham manages to grab a sword
Yeah.
while he's being hanged, cut the Krug's throat or head off, and then cut the rope at the tree, and then it frays enough to drop him. I'm like, he escaped hanging.
Yeah.
Jason Statham is the man in this movie.
Yep.
Farmer is like unkillable. At this point, this is an hour through. I'm like, good God.
And then the like battle in the forest ripoff from Lord of the Rings, where it's Boromir and Aragorn fighting the Uruk-hai in the forest.
Yeah, this is after Merrick finds the farmer, pours medicine down his throat.
Oh, yeah.
And then he finds out that he's the prince. Mm-hmm. And then the king goes to get his legions back. And then that's when...
And then Lillard, like, takes an arrow and after a few tries... like, kills the king. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of your armor if there's a big enough spot right here where you're just like, get it?
My question was, what? Yeah, I wrote down, like, what's the purpose of armor if it can't even stop an arrow from Matthew Lillard?
I know.
Because that's a recurve bow. So that's only going to go as far as the strength of the shooter. It's not like a compound bow where it's like fucking 80 pounds of pressure. Like, what armor should be able to deflect? Was it, I didn't notice, was it just an open spot?
I guess.
Like...
Once
normal
again,
armor
like,
should be like bing, deflect it.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the sound effects for the arrows?
Yep.
It sounded like nunchucks. It sounded like the cheesiest sound effect when they were like firing volleys of arrows during this fight. I'm like, what the? Just it didn't sound like real arrows at all.
Nope.
It was silly as shit.
Real arrows are like,
No, the Krugs were underground.
yeah,
Statham
what?
was doing full front flips in this fight. It was insane.
Yeah, and then someone's like feeling the ground and the Krugs are like
Oh,
digging their way up.
ninjas showed
Yep.
up at some point. Where did the
Fucking
ninjas come from?
ninjas.
Where did they come from? All of a sudden, I'm watching and there's
There's like,
ninjas.
yep.
Like a group of 10 ninjas. I'm going.
And it's unmistakable. They're wearing all black. They're fighting like ninjas. Like, it's
Where did they come from? Who were they fighting for?
Yeah, like, why are they there? They're not part of the forest people. Like, they're literally fucking ninjas in a 1680s fucking medieval thing. There are ninjas.
And there was no explanation of where they came from. They just showed up. I even like skipped back and went, where did these ninjas come from?
They showed up, helped, fought, left.
And then I just gave
That's
up.
it.
I was like, I don't care. I don't care about the
Like,
ninjas
fuck
at all.
it.
Oh, he ran on the shoulders of the bad guys. Yep. Like American Ninja Warrior style, jumped onto a horse, got under the horse, fought with a sword with the guy on the horse,
Hanging on the horse.
punched the horse in the face, knocked it unconscious,
Yep.
and then chopped the head off again, like just chopping heads, like
clean
MacGruber,
off.
like MacGruber ripping throats, or Jeff Speakman breaking necks in The Perfect Weapon.
Yep.
Just chopping heads off, and clouds of black smoke.
Yeah, not even blood. Clouds.
And we also had like the Cirque du Soleil women were in there on their vines. This
So
fight was
how
just out
the
of control.
How was this rated PG-13?
It should have been like G.
Yep.
I get just
G for fucking ridiculous
fucking garbage.
and not good.
G for garbage.
I was trying to think of a G other than garbage. I was like, guava, greatly horrible. Like, what the fuck? I could not think of a G word.
Greatly terrible.
Greatly bad.
Gargantuanously awful.
Yeah.
This movie sucked. So, oh yes. So at this point, the fight's done.
And I think, oh, it's almost over. Nope. Halfway through still.
The king gets shot at the end of this fight, and then he's like whisked back to the castle. Darish and Fallow duel, and I'm like, just kill Lillard.
Right?
And classic good guy mistake now. Waits too long to just stab him in the throat.
And then it's like, the king is dead!
Had he just killed him immediately, it wouldn't have been regicide. It would have been, you're just a fucking piece of shit who died.
Yep.
And then the king's dead. Oh, cool, this guy's not going to take the throne.
Perfect. Who will? And then Lillard's like, he, can't kill me, he. But then it's revealed like 2 seconds later that Farmer is actually the king now. So why wouldn't Tarish kill Lillard right then and there?
Because he didn't want to kill him. Because he's not a killer. Tarish isn't a killer. Tarish will kill Krugs.
Yeah.
Because he hates Krugs for some reason. I think they just don't know the Krugs. It's just usually a misunderstanding like that.
Classic misunderstanding.
Just a misunderstanding. Just gotta get to know the Krugs.
Yeah.
Don't just kill the Krugs.
This could be a silly rom-com.
This summer, the Krugs move into Stonebridge.
Meet the Krugs.
That's
And
the
the
best.
Krugs are like,
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill. The Krugs don't know anybody around here. We just moved here.
I'm Megan.
Is that MEAGAN? No.
No.
This summer. Pretty soon. I can't think of anything else to say about this movie. Stonebridge and the Krugs.
And the Christ.
The Krugs in Stonebridge. There's multiple titles here.
Yeah.
Jason Statham and the Krugs in Stonebridge.
That sounds like a band. Statham and the Krugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Statham and the Krugs. Woo! All right, we're going to play the cover tune to start off. This one's called...
the Krugs. We are Jason and the Krugs. We are Statham and the Krugs, you motherfucker. We are the Krugs. What are we? We're Krugs. What are we? I'm a farmer. They're Krugs. What do you want to do? We don't have blood. We have black powder coming from our neck.
Krugs. All right, anyway. So,
Krugs. They getting killed.
so they find out, Solana gets taken to, for some
Galleon.
reason, her and someone else get taken to Galleon. Galleon's like, get him out of here. He's like, wait, hold on a second.
And then
Leave
he's
her,
like-
though. Because he's like, I sense him and you. And I'm
I
like,
sense him and you.
I don't know why I couldn't figure it out immediately. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they're not related. Did he just did they have sex a little while ago and just a little bit of him in there? I'm like, I'm a fucking moron. Oh, his kid. That makes sense.
Yeah.
She's pregnant again.
And then he's like, I sense him inside you. I was like,
I could use you. It was weird. The delivery of these lines too. She's like, I'm not important to you, but he goes, yeah, but you're important to me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, no, it should have been, but you're important to him.
Yeah.
So that makes you important to me.
Also,
That would sound better.
he just came across so rapey.
Extremely.
Like,
Ugh. Ray, we're gonna need you to be really rapey in this scene.
and he's like, all right, got it. Like, it was just so out of
Karen!
place and ugh.
So now they're like, okay, we're gonna. Oh yeah, the nymphs are like, listen, because someone's like, we got someone that can help us. They take him to the nymphs. The nymphs are like, so, you know all that shit we said about not helping with the outside world. We're gonna
We'll
help you this
help
time,
you.
just this once though. And I'm
And then
like,
leave us alone.
we're done after this. I'm like, the nymphs are gonna get the bloodlust, and they're gonna be like, listen, you guys got any more wars going on?
Yeah.
You guys need some help?
You
We'll
guys
help you.
got any more wars?
Don't come into our forests. We will murder you. We got the bloodlust. We want to kill people. Now it's fun. Crazy nymphs. Then they're like, we're going to make the assault on Chriswyn. So now they got to go to Chriswyn. Okay, this movie is called In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale.
Yep.
A s-
Where's the dungeon? Where's the siege?
Where's the siege?
Yeah.
A siege is when an army occupies the land surrounding a castle
Yeah.
or a fort or whatever and stays there cutting off the supply lines for said castle till they give up.
Mm-hmm.
There was no siege in this movie.
There was no siege.
And-
there was no dungeon. There
No.
was no tale.
No. This
There
like-
was no name of the king. He was a farmer.
He was the king of Ebb, and then, farmer became Farmer King Ebb. Like, it just...
Nothing in this title of the movie was a thing.
My worst, yeah. This, you know what? I'm proud of this, though, because we found the worst movie
Yeah, that we've ever
reviewed.
done.
The Room was more exciting than this.
Yeah. The Clapper was more exciting than this.
Wow, yes. So at one point, someone says, oh, yeah, it's Solana. She goes, if you can bleed, you can die. I'm like, you stole that from Schwarzenegger
Yep.
in Predator.
Yep.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. It's
Yep.
a great line. You stole that from Arnie.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that and was like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like this is just another mark of poor writing.
Another ripoff.
Like you.
Oh yeah, can we just skip back quickly to when Lillard thought he was king and he was like hip hip huzzah,
Oh,
hip
God.
hip huzzah. What?
I was hoping I hope there's an outtake somewhere where someone's like, shut the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
just someone just bellows that
Like an extra's like, oh my god, and then gets fired.
like, worth it as he's
Yeah.
leaving. Worth it.
He's like, fuck this
There's
fucking
some
movie.
even probably the director going, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And then we get
Huzzah.
a shot of where the Krugs are, and I'm like, oh, discount Mount Doom.
Oh.
It's like gray and ash and
Well, and why
hill.
do the Krugs decide to attack uphill?
I know.
It just seems so careless because, like, they're not even the ones. It's supposed to be the humans attacking the Krugs.
Yep.
But they're like, we're going to stand on this hill and let them come up the hill. Yep. And the Krugs are like, let's go up the hill and fight. That seems like a senseless way to fight a battle.
Yeah, and then it's raining and it's dark and the Krugs are about to fight the people and I'm like, discount Helm's Deep.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. And then we have a sorcerer fight.
Yeah, and then they're like, with the
Gandalf
swords, they're like,
versus fucking Saruman.
yeah, and they're except
The swords.
yeah, the
Why are
swords were like,
Why are there so many swords on the
and
wall?
why were they all CGI'd so bad?
That scene was just like, was that, I'm thinking like, is that a room where like 12 sorcerers show up? They're like, all right, everybody grab your sword and we're going to put them in the middle, do the thing, and then put them back on the wall. I'm like, why are there so
Yeah.
many swords on the wall? Doesn't make any sense. And this fight was just so dumb. Oh,
Yeah.
and while this is happening, Laura and Farmer are tying a rope to the top of a mountain. Alora throws it, lassos it across the giant 1,000-foot gap to a mountain peak, and it just wedges in there. And then they jump with the rope, swing, and she holds on while he lets go, so slingshotting him across the chasm where he lands on a mountain and climbs up. And I'm just thinking, like, this is another thing stolen from Cliffhanger
Yep.
with the old rope.
Yeah.
This movie.
So many things.
The more we
like,
talk about it, the
ripped
more
off.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And then also, can we just talk about the fact that when the wizard battle is going on, it's daytime and clear, and then where the Krugs and humans are fighting, it's fucking nighttime and it's raining?
Oh, I didn't catch that at all. And they were in like the same area.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's happening simultaneously.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck? Wow. Yeah. And then Gimli goes down because he fucking obliterates the sword into dust and then puts it through his
Yeah, the dust stabs through him
Oh,
apparently.
fuck's sake. And
Because
he's like,
Gimli couldn't
"Ugh."
be like, hey, whoa, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because he's like a powerful sorcerer. They're
what
the last. They're the last of their kind. He says, "Well, the last two magi." He should
you're not,
know
though.
everything. He should know
Yeah.
all of this fucking buddy's tricks.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And then
Leota's like, "Oh, madness is power. We're just gonna call madness power now." I'm like, "There's no like mad hospitals. Well,
Yeah.
power hospitals." Is what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
and then Muriella is like gets a sense and she's like, "Father," and then apparates into that place, and then he realizes she's magic and he's like, "How could I have been so stupid?"
Yeah, you would have sensed it. He could
Yeah.
sense the king and the king's son.
Yeah.
But he couldn't sense his own daughter's magic power.
I know.
But Leota could. He was like, your power is
And he
growing.
was sucking it out of her.
Oh, maybe that's why. But
Oh, maybe. And then John Rhys Davies like gives her his remaining power, and then he's just like,
well, I love how there's no like, I would think that absorbing some other magician's, some of the magi's power would be like painful or uncomfortable. No warning
She's
of
just like-
he's like, here, take my power. No, like, here, take my power. This might hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Leota flying off of the balcony, like, and he floats down. I'm like, this just keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah. And then
Oh, the sword fighting.
yeah. He has the big like discount Urukai sword and he's like slicing it in Ray Liotta's head.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like
As he catches it between his palms.
uh,
This is like Beverly Hills Ninja. Just, whew, so sorry.
oh god. And then he like the blood, one single line is going directly, vertically, perfectly down the middle of his head. And then 2 seconds later, it's dried already.
And that's when he's attacking him with books.
Yeah.
Pinning him with books, then picking him up with the books.
Yeah. And then,
Solana.
no.
Oh, Muriella.
Muriella.
So
it,
many
like,
names.
and he stuns him, and then Solana like stabs him in the back.
Oh, because he's like, what? What sort of? Because at one point Statham goes, "I will have my vengeance."
Oh, yeah, and he's like,
"What vengeance are you enjoying?" Which makes no sense as to what he said.
I know.
Because he wasn't like, "I'm going to enjoy my vengeance."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm
"What?
gonna-"
What vengeance are you enjoying?" And he's like, "Is it the vengeance of a father, the vengeance of a husband, or the vengeance of a king?" I'm like,
and then she's like, "You forget the vengeance of a mother." Yeah.
Stabs him in the side and scene.
And then,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, you go first.
I was just gonna say at that point he pulls her in and he's like, You know, I'm gonna say something I've never said.
Yep.
I love you.
And I'm like, you've
You've been married for how long with a child and another child on the way, and you've never told your wife you love her? Woman, what are you doing with this man?
And also at the beginning of the movie, she was like, "Tell me how you love me." Ew.
Stop being so needy. I'll tell you when I feel like it. Maybe after I murder
I
a
have
child.
daddy issues.
So I had originally given this 3.5 flying vines out of 10 unassisted front flips,
Whoa!
but
That's
I'm
so generous.
taking that way back because honestly, the more we talk about it, the worse it is.
Yep.
The only reason that I gave it any score at all, I'm going to give it like 1.5 vocal fry voices out of 10 Ray Liotta Karens because the only thing, like Burt Reynolds was just Burt Reynolds. Statham held true to himself and suffered from the Van Damme syndrome. And like I said, it could have been a great movie with an R rating and a good writer, but it wasn't. It was really bad. It was horrible. I give it 1.5 out of 10.
And the budget for this was
how big
like,
was it?
it was, I think it said like $60 million, and it only made like 13.
Oh, I believe that.
It was
60
so bad.
million.
Yeah. Where was that budget? It was for all the actors.
Well, they only had like 50 extras, maybe.
Yeah.
Because
And
like
it
I said-
wasn't, it didn't go into the sets or the effects. So it must
No.
have been getting the big names like Statham and John Rhys Davies.
Like, yes, and Burt Reynolds and
Yeah.
fucking, even Lily Sobieski's been in like some big movies.
Yeah.
Was she in some horror movie like the Glass House or something? Something about a house. I can't remember.
Yeah. For the first time ever,
Uh-oh. We're just getting a 0.
it's getting a -1.
Whoa!
It's getting -1
I believe it.
out of 10. As hard as I tried, could not find anything about this movie that was remotely good. I checked how long it was, how long was left. The most times I ever have a movie in my life.
I did about 5 times.
Yeah. Nothing was good. I don't understand where they put $60 million into this. Like half the people had accents, half didn't. It was a discount and ripoff of so many other movies that are so good. Oh fuck. Literally nothing was good about this movie at all. Like no soundtrack. The sounds they did use were cheesy.
And 0 Dungeon Siege tale at all.
Yeah. And
the
0
movie was
names of the
called.
king. Fuck.
Ebb.
And it was way too long. This was like
207.
yeah.
It was 207.
This should have been like an hour and 15, an hour and a half max.
It never should have been made.
No,
But,
yeah.
And they especially, I think we'll have to do the sequels at some point.
There are sequels? How?
2 of them.
Oh, fuck.
2 of them.
I'm going to have to give myself a lobotomy for those.
We'll do them next year or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to draw one out of your cup of mystery movies. And the mystery movie is... The Snowman, 2017.
Yeah.
The hell is The Snowman?
It's this like murder mystery thriller with Michael Fassbender, and he's like a detective. And
yeah.
it came out, and I remember so many of my friends and I were like, "This looks so good," and then it came out, and it got horrible reviews, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this piece of shit?"
I'm excited to watch this.
Me too.
The only snowman movie I've ever seen or can
Jack
think
Frost.
of, Jack Frost, with Michael Keaton.
That one was scary.
No.
Like, think of your dad, like, coming to life in a snowman.
Yeah, it was
What the
Michael
fuck?
Keaton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good movie. I thought it was funny.
Oh, it was good. It was just like, think of that. Like, that concept is scary.
Oh, it'd be terrifying. Dad, why are you a snowman?
Dad?
Dad?
And he's like, howdy.
Hey, how you doing, kid?
Yeah.
All right, well, that was In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale.
Oh,
That was horrible.
my stomach's heavy
We
after
hope,
that
we
one.
hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Subscribe and like us if you like it. Share it. Tell everybody about it. Give us a rating on Apple Music
Yeah.
and everywhere else you can rate stuff. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This is Real Garbage.